retrospectively taking a look back into 2021. We're going to try to answer the eternal question, is hodling the answer? And the answer is no and yes. I'll explain it a bit. Also, we're going to take a look at what history tells us, just taking a look at what has happened, potentially what could happen. We're going to take a look at why 2.3 trillion for our market cap is absolutely nothing. And then we're going to talk about a video we'll do at the end of the year, which is 2021 predictions that I made in January and how I measured up. And then also, we're going to take a look at my exit strategy and just talk about, did I live up and do what I said I was going to do? So we'll take a look at all those things. But first, take a look at what's going on into the market today. So today, it is the 27th. Monday, beautiful day here in Puerto Rico, about 80 degrees. Just got back from the beach, very nice. Family was in town, and I took a couple days off. A couple days for the holidays is a good time to actually sit back and reflect about what is super important, and usually pretty much family. But today we're getting back to the grind, taking a look at what is going on. So it's been a pretty good time frame. Bitcoin's up, Ethereum's up, and if we really take a look at the 7-day, we can see there's been some pretty monstrous gains. Look at Solana, 12%, Cardano, 22%. We've got Terra up 16%, Polkadot, 30% in 7 days, 19% for Shiba Inu. Wow, Polygon, 27%. Crypto.com 26, 33 for Uniswap, 27 for Chainlink, and on and on. 74% for Near Protocol. Man, that's a monster. And just on down the road. So there's a lot of good things that are happening. If it wasn't for these 7 days, December would have been pretty bleak. And then if we take a look at just some on-chain analysis over at Crypto Quant, nothing really going on too exciting for most of these. The all miners outflow in the purple, we don't see a lot of miners selling. The all exchange reserve for Bitcoin, looks like people are still taking off Bitcoin, maybe a little uptick and a little bit more. So when people take Bitcoin off the exchanges, that's good. They put in cold storage, they can't sell it. All exchange reserve for Ethereum, again, going down. Take or buy volume, these whales are just buyers, are just kind of propping up the price because they're like, we don't want it to go too far down. And then, yes, we've propped it up a little bit. But this is the one that always concerns me. And it's been high the last 3-4 days. It's the all exchange estimated leverage ratio. And we get above 0.2, those are pretty all-time high numbers. And we just hit 0.2103. Now we're at, now we're at the almost the all-time high, 0.209. So those leverage plays out there could potentially be not catastrophic. It's just a natural cycle, but expect some volatility when you have a lot of leverage. That's all I can tell you. So that's what's going on into the market. Now what we really want to do is just take a look into the question, is hodling the answer? Now, on this channel, I've talked about just buying and holding. And is that really the correct approach? Sometimes. And here's what this was actually came about. There was a tweet that I thought was pretty darn interesting. This was from Blockworks. And they said, here's the price of the top 10 cryptos last Christmas. 2020. Bitcoin was 23,000. Ethereum was 633. Binance Coin, $33. Solana, $1.45. Cardano, 15 cents. XRP, 31. Polkadot was $5. Avalanche, almost 3. Luna was 53 cents. And Doge, 0.004. And I have to tell you, I owned all of them except for Binance Coin. I never really got into Binance Coin, just didn't. But I've owned and still own, well, every single one except for Doge. I got rid of Doge when Elon Musk was on Saturday Night Live. I sold it at 66 cents. I'm like, there's no way it's not going to $1. And that was like one of the few times I've sold at the top. But who knows? In 10 years, Dogecoin could be $2. I have no idea. But at that point, it just kind of made sense for me. And I just said, hey, this isn't a get-rich-quick scheme. It's a get-rich-over-time market. You don't need to trade. You don't need to be a genius. You don't need to have a ton of money. Just buy and hold and you make it. It's very simple, but some people make it complex, and it's not. And there really is some caveats to what I just said when I talked about there in that tweet. Because if you just hodl forever, would it be good? Let's take a look at a little bit of history, shall we? Because if we take a look, before we get into history, let me just play this video. It's been stuck in my head for the longest time. This is Nick Murray, and he is the advisor to the advisors. Been in financial industry for 50 plus years. He is the one that people turn to as far as like sage advice. And he gives some really good advice here. It's only a minute long. Just take a listen.
The stock market in the United States in our lifetimes, since World War II, has gone down an average of 30%, an average of every 5 years. kind of whether it needed to or not. And what was the difference in all that time between investment success and investment failure? I will argue that it was the single mistake of mistaking the temporary declines for a permanent loss, panicking out, thereby creating the permanent loss that you said you were fleeing from.
Right.
Whereas if you had just sat there, never mind adding to your positions, which most people should be doing over most of their accumulating lifetimes, if not all of their accumulating lifetimes, but put that aside. If you just sat there, the temporary decline will go away, and it will be then followed inevitably by a period of above average returns. That's the cycle.
The big thing here is that, yes, he's talking about the stock market, but I think more in depth is probably the S&P 500 index, or just indexes in general, because, stocks can go to zero too. I mean, it's not like we're the only crypto, or we're the only market that can go to zero, because some stocks do go to zero. Some companies go out of business. It does actually absolutely happen. So when he's talking about these things, it's like, well, is this everything? Because if we really then take a look at what history tells us, which is something like this. I want to show you something. I love looking at these old charts because it just kind of gives us a perspective and the ability to really zoom out. And this is a historical snapshot from 3rd of December, 2017. And look at the prices here. This is during part of almost the very tip top of the bull run. The next 2 weeks, Bitcoin shot up to like almost 20,000. But on the 3rd of December, it was 11,323. And if you bought there, I mean, right now you're still feeling pretty good. But what about the other ones? How about Ethereum, 465? Yeah, you'd feel pretty darn good, right? Because right now it's like 4,000. Pretty good 10x over 4 years. Okay. And it gets a little bit of shaky here. To hodl Bitcoin Cash, it was at 1559 at this point, and it went to over 4,500 at some point. XRP was 25 cents. Not too bad, but look at what's happened. Dash, remember Dash? Dash was $768. Litecoin was $101. Bitcoin Gold was a thing at $320. Cardano was 13 cents. All right, now we're talking. And then Monero was $200, and then on down the road that you can see. And like, there's some things in here that, I mean, I haven't seen forever. Like, look at Salt. Salt was $5.56. Salt was one of those projects that was like DeFi before DeFi. You were able to actually get loans on the Salt protocol, and it was supposed to open up everything, and had a really great team. It was awesome. Where are we now? So that's a great question. Before I even answer those, let's just jump forward just to a couple months, 2 or 3 months. 11 of February 2018. Remember, Bitcoin had gone all the way up to 20,000, 19 something, right? And then Ethereum had gone up to, $1,600, $1,700. So Bitcoin was back down in 2 months, 8,100. So if you bought over here, and this wasn't even the top, you feel not too great. You'd be like, wow, it's still down, which is what a lot of us actually feel because the volatility. Ethereum, 814. XRP was actually $1. That's pretty good. Bitcoin Cash, 1,200. All right. Cardano, 36 cents. Litecoin, 148. Wow. Stellar, 37. Neo. Remember Neo? Yeah, right. $103. EOS, which was supposed to, there was $1 million bet for EOS. It was going to go to the moon because of how there's these great airdrops and everything else. 841. NEM. IOTA. Dash. Again, 580. Monero, 229. And on down the road. So let's fast forward just a little bit more and take a look at 2nd of December of 2018. So we went from 3rd of December 2017, just a year later, we hodled the whole time. Let's just say we hodled the whole time. You had $11,000 Bitcoin. Now what do you got? You got a $4,100 Bitcoin. $4,100. Now again, you are still feeling pretty good. If you came to today at $51,000, that's not too bad. XRP at 36 cents. If you're holding for 4 years, that's about right. Ethereum is 116. Oh, you are doing great, right? Stellar, 16. Bitcoin Cash, 172. EOS, 285. Litecoin, 33. Tether, nobody cares. Nobody cared about that back then. Bitcoin SV. I don't know why this was even here. and on down the road. Cardano at 4 cents. So you can see that in some of these, it worked out okay. And we can see just even more into history. If we take a look at, let's just take Bitcoin Cash. Bitcoin Cash, remember here how great it was when you're looking at 1559, and then at a crash, it was at 1217. Well, look at it now. If you would have held the whole time, you would be a whopping $471 for Bitcoin Cash. That's what it is right now. You would have done here, if you would have bought anywhere along, let me go down so you can actually see this, anywhere along this continuum around here, it would have sucked for a long time. You would have hodled and hodled and hodled. It's going to go up. Hodled. It's going to go up. And it does. And it reached the exact same price 4 years ago that you are over here. It's going to go up. No, it doesn't go up. It goes down. And then let's take a look also at Dash. Remember, Dash was over here and it was like doing so great. Dash at $768. Well, now it's at $153. But how did it do? Well, it hit some pretty big highs. But if you just say here, well, look, it's at 346, but I'm going to hodl, 727, 1191, hodl, 1200, hodl, wait, what? 460, 220, I'll hodl. I told you it was going to go up. I told you 339, which is the exact same price over here. Hodl, maybe in 10 years. Who knows? I don't know. Then let's take a look at Litecoin. Litecoin, whopping $159. Where were we at before? 101. So good for you. You made $50. That's good. That's great. You know? So you're here and it comes down here. So you're like, not too bad. It comes up a little bit. I'm holding, and I go all the way up. 354. It'll go up higher than that. Hodl. So also, let's talk about one of the last ones, salt. Salt, back here, which was right here, 556. And you have it over here at 12 cents. So again, is hodling the answer? Not all the time. As you can see clearly right here, on some projects, it's better to let go because it ain't coming back. And maybe Salt does. I have no idea what Salt is doing. I mean, they slap their name on a conference, and it seems like that's their bigger thing right now. I don't think it's really going as far as the crypto. But Salt, there it is. And then what about IOTA? We talked about that as well. Same thing. I mean, look, and we are riddled with these types of things where they don't even come back to their all-time highs. Here's Cardano. I think this is one of the better ones, obviously, because look over here. Had this little peak here at $1.18, and I and I think a lot of people hodled all this way through, and then here we are going up again. So it works out okay. Ethereum worked out, Bitcoin worked out, but it doesn't always work out, and that's how it is. So, and then lastly, we'll talk about Monero. Look at this. Just comes here, goes down, comes up. So again, the question really comes down to, is hodling the answer? And the answer is sometimes. And what you really got to do, and of course, everybody wants the answer, the perfect answer. Rob, give us the answer. Tell us what to invest into. First of all, I can't do that. I'm not an investment advisor. Second of all, I'm just some YouTuber. I'm just some guy who invests into crypto and digital assets. I can tell you what I'm currently investing in, and it's a lot of stuff. But the prospect for me is just looking at the UTT. I look at the utility. Does it actually do something? Is there updates and things are actually going on? How's the team doing? The T, do they have a pretty strong? Are they building? Are they making waves to the future? They have developers. And then tokenomics. How does it look? Does it have a quadrillion tokens, which is going to be drowned out? Or has it just got like a couple 100 million or something like that? It all depends on the project itself. So to answer your question, is holding the answer? Not all the time. And even in these great projects that do pretty well, I can't say me. What I do is I don't hodl like I used to all the time, because over 2018, 2019, it worked out pretty well for me. I just hodled because it was kind of a crappy year. But as time goes on, you have to understand that I know these products are going to change the world. We know that they will. But the question is not if they're going to change the world, but when are they going to change the world, and how long does it actually take? So as time goes on, I will dollar cost average in. and I would dollar cost average out. And that's what I'm trying to do today. So I can't tell you what to do. You can hold any project that you want to forever, but I'm just letting you know that at some point, some of these projects ain't gonna make it. And that's abundantly clear. And if you get too much as far as the emotional part, it always or usually doesn't end up in the right direction. So let me know what you think about that in the comments section. Let's move on to our next piece where I just talk about really quickly why our market cap of, I think it's actually 2.5 trillion now, is nothing. And I always like to bring this up just as a focal point for everybody, because I know 2021 was a tough year. We thought December was going to be fireworks. I did. Just didn't work out like that. Does that mean it's over? No, doesn't mean it's over. It means we got a lot of room to grow. The question is, I can tell you that I think that crypto and digital assets will really take over a big splice of a lot of different industries. I just can't tell you exactly when that's going to happen. But right now, we've got a lot of big players in the space. So this is a graph I always bring out every so often. This was actually in May of 2020. These little squares right here is worth $100 billion, which seems like a lot, right? 100 billion. I don't have a billion, but it'd be nice if I did. And here's what this represents. So Bitcoin back in May of 2020 was only entire crypto was 244 billion. Military spending was a lot more than that. The US budget deficit is a lot more than 3.8 trillion right now. We're just talking about printing off another 2.5 trillion. Coins and banknotes, 6.6 trillion. The Fed's balance sheet, way more than that, over 7 trillion. Billionaires, gold was at 11 trillion. I think maybe it's like 12 trillion now. Why couldn't we eat into some of these, balance sheets and revenue? Fortune 500 companies. Here's the stock market, 90 trillion, probably around 100 trillion now. Who knows? Money supply, we're looking at almost 100 trillion again. Here's global debt, 253 trillion. Here's the global real estate. Can you imagine when someone starts tokenizing these different assets as far as real estate goes? Oh, it's going to be huge. $280 trillion. Man, here's global wealth, $380 trillion. Here's derivatives. That's a quadrillion, which is like Shiba Inu's market cap, I think, or circulating supply, not market cap, excuse me. So if you're looking at, where are we and are we going to take off? Yeah, this is us. So that's just a quick reminder, just to remind you that, it wasn't the greatest year. We didn't see like the all-time highs on December. We saw them mostly in April, but I still think we got a lot of room to run. Let me just think about that in the comments. And then to finish up, I'm just going to talk about real quick the strategy moving forward and as far as what I plan to do and this video I want to do. So I still think that dollar cost averaging works out, but you have to dollar cost average in and dollar cost average out. And when I talk about buying the dip, remember that those graphs we saw? Let's just take XRP, for example. Remember when it was at 36 cents, then it went up to $1, then it went back to 25 cents? All those times when it actually goes down, I can't tell you what to do, but I buy the dip because my average cost base price goes down when the dip goes down. So like if I buy XRP at $1 and then I initially bought it at 25 cents, then I meet in the middle, well, my average cost is much less. And then when that price comes, I can sell and just go, well, at least I got a wash if it didn't work out. Or maybe I wait till XRP goes to $100 like some people think it's going to do. Sure, whatever. But still DCA, still buy the dip, and still hodl to a point. The question is which of those projects are. I will reveal my projects that I'm going to really focus in on 2022 when we do the follow-up to this video, which is my price prediction. I will tell you that Bitcoin I thought was going to 150K. Then in June or July I thought, well, maybe 130K. Totally off on that one. But there was some that I actually hit, and I had some decent ones, but I had some massive misses. And that's why we want to talk about the things that didn't work out too well and the things that did. And we'll do that in later, actually 4 or 5 days or so, when the end of the year comes about. And then we'll also talk about my exit strategy, which you can see right here. And I'll talk about how the ones that I nailed, every single one, and actually took the profits like I said I was going to do. And then others which didn't work out because I got a little too greedy. And then the catalyst that made it all up in the end. And I'll talk about that on the video. So that's it for today. And look, I know it was a lot of information, a lot of things that we talked about. Don't get discouraged. I think we've got a long ways to go, but there's going to be some little shift for me, little strategies, but that's it.